I'm having a hard time even getting super jacked up for it.
Yeah.
Even though there's a little more juice when it comes because it's fun. Everybody's excited because in dark mode, and it's usually around Halloween, so we do
By the
cool
way,
stuff.
Dark mode, huge fan.
It makes for an electric atmosphere. They introduced the scary version of Rocky Top, which is electric in the stadium.
So sweet.
I'm excited, but like as far as the game on the field, I think it's over by halftime. All right, welcome back. More steam. It's Kentucky week. This is going to be a fun one. As always, I'm Will Watkins.
I am Thomas Wharton, and the Vols are back in action after our second bye week.
Undefeated.
First time in a while we've done that. Undefeated, hopefully healthy as ever, and the Wildcats are in town. You cannot spell suck without UK.
Facts.
I'll leave that off.
Grammatically accurate.
It's true.
It's a real thing. It is dark mode. We have switched into dark mode, except for me and you. We look bright and cheery as always. I'm excited about it. I love the dark mode uniforms. The video they did was unbelievable.
Fantastic. Talked a little bit about it on Ball Club Recap earlier this week.
Check it out.
I am wearing the Beer Barrel polo, which is synonymous with this awesome Beer Barrel replica next to me. And it's white. And like you said, it's a little happy. You're wearing your Vol orange. I love it. It's not Friday yet, but come Saturday night,
All black.
it's dark mode.
Dark mode, baby.
Dark mode. And if you need some help picking out your outfit, boy, do we have something for you. We got the Get Hype shirt.
Coach Hype Man.
Hype Man.
Hype Man.
We got the Nico graphic tee, producer Dalton Sterling.
Okay.
Oh, got that
The
one.
Hype Man.
Bingo. Let's see the other one. This is my personal favorite.
I'm just going to take this for Cooper. This is going to be mine.
You threw me three. We got Brew. Destined to have a good game. And then we got the Nico graphic tee. My personal favorite of the bunch.
This is very trendy. Very cool. Very trendy.
You don't have dark mode Vol Club merch. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. And we got it here. 301 State Street, Vol Club Outfitters. That's enough for the ad reads. Let's get into the show. No predictions.
From last week, yeah. I mean, I predicted we would win.
Yep.
We did.
We did.
Crushed it. For this week, I mean, it's not a rivalry like Kentucky thinks it is, but like they think a lot of things. But it is one of my favorite games every year. Generally because we thump them and they think they have a chance every year, and then we come out and embarrass them. It's great. I love it. It's got a little juice in it. And this game in Neyland in the dark mode brings back good memories. I mean, Danico Slaughter we talked about earlier in the year in the Arkansas game. He had the hit six. It's one of my favorite memories.
Plays.
So I'm excited for the game. There's a little extra juice again. Not a rivalry, but a little extra juice when Kentucky comes to town.
Something I love about college football, and it's a little more common in the Big Ten and some other conferences, is trophy games. Regular season trophy games.
100%.
This used to be one.
It used to be. Bring it back.
Bring it back. Right? So that is cool, and that is kind of what contributes to the rivalry, even though, as we can tell by the years on this bad boy, it's been relatively lopsided the entire time. I'm excited too, man. I mean, Coach Hype's had two games at Kroger over there, and we've won close games. And then they came here, and boy, 2022 was magical for a lot of reasons. Right? But I remember vividly, we're up, 50-7 at one point. I mean, it was bad. Will Levis was being Will Levis. There's a reason why he's on the bench right now up in Nashville. And I looked to one of my coach friends next to me, and he said, Thomas, are we for real? Are we for real? Mind you, we'd already beaten LSU. We'd already beaten Bama, but it was getting an SEC team. Kentucky was somewhat respectable at that point.
Dragging them.
And just skull dragging. I mean, it was not close.
Yeah, it was bad.
Defense played lights out, which for that year was kind of a big deal. And offense did what they were doing all year long. Maybe we'll see a little different game plan from the Vols this year. We'll see. Good.
It feels like we might see the reverse of that this year.
Right.
Where like our defense comes out and does what they always do and just drags their offense, and then offense puts it together and has one of their big games of the year. So I'm thinking we might see that. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But wanted to kind of just jump into the game, right? Like we didn't have anything to break down. So let's just talk Kentucky, talk some ball, see what we're thinking. I was going to start defense, but everybody knows we'll talk defense, but offense, right?
Yes.
A question I have gotten more over the last month than I can count: what's wrong with the offense? That's what I keep hearing. What's wrong with the offense? Well, a couple ball knowers up here.
Certified
went
knowers
to some film. We're probably a collective 5 yards from being the offense people who saw in 2022. Balls through hands, a couple missed passes that are a yard or two overthrown. Like, it's so close to being there.
Yes.
And last week, Nico missed a couple open throws, but then he hit some incredible throws. Or 2 weeks ago, he makes some incredible throws. It's so close. And if ever there was a get-right game, as they like to say, buddy, I think this is it.
Yeah.
I think this one's it.
We last bye week, we was bragging on the statistic. Coach Hypes, 3-0 or after bye weeks, 7-1 all time. Kind of had to eat our words there with the performance at Arkansas, but maybe it's second time's a charm. Maybe. You don't know. I agree, man. I mean, we're veteran on the front. We got really old, experienced offensive linemen. We're kind of a mix at the skill positions. I mean, Dylan Sampson's a junior. He doesn't count, though. I mean, he doesn't count. And, got young guys on the outside with a couple veterans, too. It just boils down to Nico, man. I mean, he's shown the potential. You see, there is a whole list of highlights from the season of his. Whole list of lowlights, too, where it's like, what if?
It's almost like he's a redshirt freshman.
Almost like that.
Almost like he's a redshirt freshman.
He's playing like a super talented kid who's a redshirt freshman.
I still go back to 2 weeks ago. We had all these fans in the stands chirping, put Gaston in, and Gaston throws the hero Hail Mary interception. And it's like, I don't understand how anyone could be out or pretend to be out on Nico with just the amount of flashes that he's had of his unbelievable talent.
Yes.
Like, I bet I've watched that rollout throw to Dante 100 times.
It's probably his best play this year.
I
really don't know if there's a
unbelievable. I mean, maybe the Brazel touchdown down the sideline early in the year, that was an incredible throw. But like that throw, it's just that's the talent that he has. Can never quit him. I can't quit him.
No.
Even if I wanted to, and I don't want to.
You can't. This is a game. This feels like a game where it's like, and it's a common thing said in all sports, really, you just don't beat yourself.
Yep.
Right?
100%.
Just don't beat yourself. Kentucky, clip this. Kentucky's the biggest fraud of the season. Okay. And that's coming from Bama, who's underperformed, Ole Miss, who has 2 losses. Kentucky was not ranked in the AP poll.
True.
But they were this close. They were number 30 in the country.
Receiving votes there.
They were receiving votes there in that little, subway
like 17
margins
teams down there.
Exactly. Kentucky's always kind of been that sleeper, right? Do they knock you away with their massive, high-rated recruiting classes?
Nope.
No.
Never.
Do they have this awesome stadium? Definitely not.
Nope.
They don't have a super high-profile head coach. He's got, in my opinion, the easiest job in the country.
We can talk about that in a second. I hate Mark Stoops.
Yeah. And consistently, they just kind of roll 7 wins, 8 wins. They had a few 1 year with 10 wins. And they just kind of go and go and go. And you're like, oh, Kentucky. Somehow they always overachieve. I don't know how that happens.
Yep.
Because the bar is down here.
The bar is the floor.
They are 1-4.
Oh.
1-4 in conference play.
Oh.
Bad. Their one win at another fraud, Ole Miss.
Which
they thought
that one is crazy.
Insane. Insane.
Crazy.
They thought they fooled us, okay? Open up against a nobody win. Got skull-dragged against South Carolina, okay? Then they take Georgia to the brink.
100%.
1 point win at home.
Again,
or 1 point loss at home. Excuse me.
Very confusing team because of that.
Just wild. You're like, what? Is Kentucky good? No. They beat another nobody. They go beat Ole Miss. So at this point, they're 2-3 or 3-2 with a about as close as you get to beating Georgia. And they lost 3 straight. Vandy got murdered by Florida, and that Auburn game was ugly.
And Auburn's awful.
Talk about toilet bowl.
Oh, gosh. Awful.
Watching a little bit of film to prepare to bring you this show here on this wonderful Friday. That was hard to watch. 10 minutes of condensed highlights, very hard to watch from that game.
Tough.
But yeah, they're rolling in, trying to stop a skid to save their season. Not going to happen, Watkins. It's just not going to happen.
It's just not going to. Not a chance, in my opinion. We talked about Mark Stoops there. Mm-hmm. I don't like Mark Stoops.
No.
For a lot of the things that you talked about, like, the bar is so low for Kentucky that he would win 9, occasionally he got that 10 wins. Mm-hmm. Like, you're winning 9 games, but like, you're not beating the teams you're supposed to get there.
No.
Congrats, you're beating South Carolina, Mississippi State to the world. But you're not beating the good teams. Now, Florida, they had a little run against Florida, but even though Florida teams were bad, we just couldn't beat them. But like, Mark Stoops gets all this love in all these coaching polls. It's like top 25 coaches in America, and he'll be at like 14, and Heupel will be at 17. I'm like, how in the world, when Heupel continues to just drag him when they play, what are we doing? So I think Mark Stoops is the most overrated. Not to say, I think he's a solid coach. Like, he's a very solid football coach. But to say he's a top coach, what are we talking about?
When you've been around enough high-level, alpha-level coaches, that we both have.
Yep.
It takes a certain type of guy to step back out of your situation and be like, okay, like let's change the expectations here. So I do respect him for that. But I mean, he wanted to get out.
Here's the thing.
Wasn't there that? I mean,
and I tell this to Kentucky fans, the 4 that I think there are out there. If Mark Stoops were the elite football coach that they thought he was,
wouldn't be there.
Wouldn't be at Kentucky.
No.
That's just the reality.
How many years have you been there?
This is his 12th season.
I mean, yeah.
Buddy, you couldn't get a better job at Kentucky in 12 seasons.
That's what I'm saying. After doing what he did,
like, come on. Like,
crazy stuff.
Everybody knows.
So we've talked about our offense. Let's talk about their defense. Because I think that is, that's our biggest, it's the biggest what if, right? Because our offense clearly has some question marks.
100%.
Their defense is the strength of their team.
Yep.
And I say that with a lot of caveats.
A lot of caveats there.
Notice I didn't say they were good. They're the strength of our team. Some stats. They are 21st in total defense.
Yep.
Their red zone defense is ranked the same. 20th in pass yards per game allowed. 52nd defending the run. Not bad.
Yeah.
Not great.
But the context there.
Give me the context.
They were really, really good early. They're horrible the last couple games.
Yes.
Like, they are just getting worse and worse. I mean, they're averaging, I think, giving up 272 yards rushing them for the last 2 games. Interesting, since, do we have a good running back that could take advantage of that? Oh, yes, we do.
Oh, yeah.
We do. So
Indeed,
Dylan Sampson is him, and
Will Watkins is a Heisman frontrunner.
Yeah, exactly. Dylan Sampson. He's going to have a monster game, which I'll talk about more later. But, like, the guy is unbelievable. I think he's the second best running back in the country. I'll give Ashton Genty his props there and his flowers.
That's fair.
But Dylan Sampson is a monster, and I think this lines up for him to have a monster day.
And I think if you were to take the other side of the ball, that meaning their offense, to take that off the table. If you just look at how our offense performs against their defense, I think that tells you the story of the game.
Oh, agreed.
I say that, not to change subjects, but I say that because their offense is bad.
Very, very bad.
It's real bad.
Very
It's
bad.
not relatively bad. It's really bad. Fun stat here. 124th passing.
Yep.
That is good for 10th worst in the country.
It's like 166 yards a game or something they're
Yes.
averaging. Oh, woof.
10th worst in the country.
Woof.
3 teams below them, 3 of the 9 teams, Army, Navy, Air Force.
Who don't throw the ball.
Don't throw the ball. They're starting to do a little bit, but they don't.
But they don't.
So that means you are 7th worst amongst teams that actually try to pass the ball.
And all I heard in the offseason was how good Brock Vandergrift is going to be.
Getting his opportunity.
He's got his cell phone on his clip on the thing with his boots. He looks ridiculous. He's terrible.
Nope.
Got benched last week.
Not great.
It's awful.
Not ideal.
It's awful.
Yeah, the quarterback they brought in, I thought initially, I was like, maybe it's just a scheme thing. Maybe he's more of a runner. No, I think Brock's just bad.
Yep, Brock's just bad.
I think it's not a lock, but I think you go into the game thinking, 17 points has been the number all year. I haven't really give it up more than
100%.
that. I'd be surprised if they get there, but that's if you're looking at a number. If you want to go Friday afternoon and say, what number does Tennessee need to win?
Yep.
I think it's like 14 points. I hope it's not.
If our defense gives up 17 to Kentucky, we got some problems.
That's what I'm saying.
Something is bad wrong. I'd put. We need to score at least 15 points to win. It's the bar is low.
And given our predictions,
Yep.
I think that's attainable.
I mean, I've not felt this confident about a team coming in a long time. They're so bad.
I think we mentioned it in a previous show. People have asked me, they're like, Thomas, like, are you worried about Kentucky? Are we looking ahead to Georgia?
No.
I was like, Georgia's in 3 weeks, okay? Like, what are we talking about? It's not like they're coming around the corner.
We also have this history of just dragging Kentucky.
Yeah.
So, I think sometimes when a team is bad, like a Florida team, they can be bad.
Yep.
Come in, I'm still worried because we have a history of letting them stay in it. Historically, bad Kentucky teams coming to Neyland, they get dragged.
No.
We just put them away, we bury them.
And we have a history of showing up locked in for that game
100%.
for whatever it is. Maybe it's the legend of the beer barrel.
Or maybe it's that their offensive tackle spends all offseason talking about they're going to come down and punch us in the mouth. I don't know. Could be any of those things.
Bulletin board material.
Yep.
Bing. But we'll see. I don't know. I think you're looking for a letdown game. You're looking for an excuse to doubt us, to be nervous. I am nervous all the time. You guys know this at this point. I am the resident pessimist. I will never look on the bright side. But we're going to kill Kentucky. I mean, there's
when you're saying it, it's going to be, it might be 100-0 at this point.
I'm just saying, I have said that sentence out of my mouth before. This is just to fact check myself before the Twitter notes get me. I've said that sentence before.
Yep.
It was 2020. We were wrong. I was wrong. Horribly wrong. This is not 2020. This is not Jeremy Pruitt coaching them. This is not Jarrett Garantano taking the snaps.
He was back a couple weeks ago. I liked him. He was nice.
Really?
Yeah, he was very nice.
I'm not saying he's a bad guy.
He's very nice.
But
I was like, I feel bad. I said a lot of bad things in my living room when watching you play.
People did.
So I just felt bad. But yeah, I mean, listen, we can break this game down more, but like at the end of the day, it's just going to be a drubbing. I'm having a hard time even getting super jacked up for it.
Yeah.
Even though there's a little more juice when they come because it's fun. Everybody's excited because in dark mode, and it's around Halloween, so we do
By the
cool
way,
stuff.
dark mode, huge fan. I know we promoted earlier.
Love it.
Huge
Love
fan.
it.
Halloween too.
Oh my God. It always coincides, and it makes for an electric atmosphere. They introduced the scary version of Rocky Top, which is electric in the stadium.
So sweet.
I'm excited, but like as far as the game on the field, I think it's over by halftime.
I hope so. And talk about a get right game, get back game, whatever you want to call it. It's the opportunity, man. This is like if you want to see quality competition in terms of you're playing a conference opponent, like just go do it, man. Just go do it.
Yeah, I mean, I actually expect to see a vintage Tennessee high pool game where like I don't think we fumble on the first drive this time. Knock on wood. Like I think we come out, punch them in the mouth. Joe Mincy. We're going to smash them in the mouth, score early, score often. Like it would not surprise me if we look up at the end of the first quarter and it's 14, 17, 21 to nothing. Like I think
I'm waiting
we're
for it,
so
man.
close.
I'm waiting for it. Nealon's waiting for it. Like,
it's going to be electric.
If we had to do a firework forecast from Chattanooga to now, we got plenty in the we got plenty in the reserve.
We got too many in the
We have
reserve.
not spent off enough.
Let's shoot some more off.
Let's get back to
Mark Stoops is complaining on the SEC call today about having to play another night game, buddy. That's not a good look. That's a problem. Your team, you know you're scared. You know you're going to come in here and get this whooping.
You see Lane Kiffin complaining about it again too?
He complains about everything. That's all he does.
That's fair.
Lane being Lane.
Yep.
All right, let's jump into the stat predictions. Let's just get into it. Top players here. Because again, we both know this is going to be a drubbing. So let's talk about how big of a drubbing and the pros and cons of all the guys and what they're going to do. So I'm going to start today.
Okay.
I'm going to go quarterback first.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about Nico, as always. Listen, it's the get right game. Like, I think this is it. He's so close. He's had another bye week, working hard. Give me 265 yards, 3 touchdowns.
All right.
I think the yardage isn't there. I wanted to say, like, I need that 300-yard game, and I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
But we just haven't done that yet. But I think he'll get to the touchdowns, and I think there's another reason he's not going to throw for 260, and I'll talk about that in a second. But, like, 265 and 3 touchdowns, with like if he can go no interceptions, that's a great game for him. Give me that all day.
100%. And I mean, I'd love to see him get 260 and throw it 15 times.
100%.
Like, let's just.
And I think that's a realistic possibility that I'm factoring into my prediction.
I'm sure you're about to get there here in a second. I'm similar. I mean, I got obviously a little more pessimistic. I got 230 and a score through the air. I got 40 and a score through the ground.
Okay.
I love seeing him run the ball. I think he's just a natural athlete. He's so tall, so it looks real lanky
he's like
weird
gliding a little bit.
But he glides. It's a great way to describe it. He glides.
I want to see another long touchdown run like the NC State game, just to take off and I want that.
Just like, shift through the defenders. It's awesome. I'll let you go, your boy. And I'm
going to talk Dylan Sampson. I'm the optimist, right? We all know that. This one might be the biggest one of all time. I've got Dylan Sampson running for 225 yards and 3 touchdowns. So
3 touchdowns would be.
He's going to break the record.
Yep. There you go. I got stat corrected a few times last show. Yep. He is 1 away from tying, 2 away from breaking. 3 would break it even more. 220. I wish.
225, 3 touchdowns.
To the bank. The
kid from Auburn just ran for like 280 or something against them. Like, they're terrible.
Yeah, you're right. See, I don't want to say mine.
He's going to say like 110.
I said 130 and a score. But that's, that's like, he set his all-time, or, his career best, which was what, 139?
No, he had higher than that earlier this year, didn't he?
Was it?
I think so. We'll get a stat
Wasn't
check.
by much.
No, but.
So, 220, that's for sure. 225, sorry, 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
That's it. I'm going to go next with my receiver. Good Lord, Watkins. I love it. Here's the thing. I owe so many apologies.
Yeah. I never have to apologize.
You don't.
They have to apologize to me.
Exactly.
You made me look dumb.
When you see them later in the week, they got to.
I'm never wrong. They just didn't perform as well as they should have.
Exactly.
That's the way it works.
That's what I'm a massive fan of Josh Pate. Yeah. He goes, I am never wrong. It's just kids, officials, and coaches mess up my predictions.
Exactly.
Like,
all the time.
I'm not wrong. That's it. I love it. That's the man. I'm gonna go Dante for my.
I'd love to. I'm not allowed to.
I know you're not allowed to, so I will.
Yep. Thank you.
I think he goes 6 catches, 105 yards. He's a guy who can take the top off. This defense isn't all that great. They had some injuries at corner.
Yep.
They had just the guys that weren't playing all that great. A couple big penalties that led to touchdowns for Auburn. I mean, I think he's a guy, man. He's kind of like that every third or fourth game. You're like, oh my gosh, this dude's insane. Come on, bring it on.
It's time. I love it. I'm going to go Chris Brazzell.
Okay.
I've got him at 2 catches, 65 yards and a touchdown.
There you go.
You know,
short and sweet.
It's not like the craziest prediction, but I blew that load on Dylan Sampson. So I'm just going to go 2, 65 and a touchdown. And because I do think your prediction is probably going to be close to accurate if I had to guess, I won't predict that because I want Dante to do well. Mm-hmm. But, you know, somebody's got to get the rest of the 265 yards. So I'll give it to Brazzell.
And it's not my prediction. I hope we see a little Squirrel White sighting. I hope.
I'd love to see it.
Just waiting for it, man. But, you know, we'll see.
Got to come out at some point, you think?
Yep. It's got to. Maybe that ball hits him right in the stomach. He runs for 80 yards. Defense.
I'm curious about what you go here.
Their offense ain't good. I talked about it. Their passing game ain't good. So part of me was like, okay, maybe they just don't try to pass the ball. Maybe it's just run, and then we get some defensive tackles with a lot of tackles, maybe a forced fumble. Maybe we get, Jeremiah Thielener. I love picking him. I think that if I picked him right now, which I'm not, it'd be my 3rd time. Maybe.
It would be. Nobody loves Sarge more than you love Sarge.
I'm a big Sarge guy. But no, you can't just abandon the pass. That's not how football happens. That's fair. Right?
Not in the modern world.
They're going to throw the ball.
They are.
You know who they're going to throw it at?
Not Jamar McCoy if they're smart.
Exactly, which is why they're going to throw at Ricky Gibson, and he's going to pick it, and he's going to take it. I got Ricky Gibson. I don't care about tackles. Pick 6 from Ricky.
Pick six
from Ricky.
No, I was going to say Jamal McCoy interception. Now I feel like I got a one-up here. All right, I'm going to go.
We don't have a lot of rules that bind our predictions. No. I don't see them until he says them. So,
Javon McCoy, 2 interceptions.
Okay.
They're going to get dumb, and they're going to throw it to him. He's going to keep picking off because he's incredible. Listen, I've talked about him a ton on the show. We both have. Javon McCoy, unbelievable. He's so good at football.
That guy.
I mean, he's the guy. And I love when he gets an interception because I text his dad and his stepdad, and I'm just like, don't try him. I'm like, oh, he's the man. And then we just swap stories all week about him. So I love Jamal McCoy. I don't know that he can get 2 picks because surely they're not that dumb to keep throwing at him. But hey, Jamal McCoy, 2 interceptions. That way, if he only gets 1, he has to apologize to me.
There you go.
He just underperformed.
Exactly.
So
bar is high.
His dad likes to say All-American is the standard. So I like that, and so I've been stealing it when I talk to him.
That needs to be on a T-shirt.
So 2 interceptions.
Okay.
Let's get that All-American standard going. 2 interceptions will probably pretty much lock it in with how he's played. So Jamal McCoy, 2 interceptions.
We'll take it.
I can't wait.
We'll take it. And should those predictions hit, so I think our score predictions will be pretty good too. I don't know yours, but I can assume it. I'll start with mine. We talk about offense getting right. I want this to be another 60-7.
Oh,
don't know that it will. That's why I'm going 34-3. 34-3. That's a good old-fashioned butt whooping.
That is a good old-fashioned butt whooping.
I don't know if we got 45 points in us. I hope we do. I hope I'm wrong in that matter. But I have doubted our defense before, and I will not do it again. 34.
Love it.
3 points given up. Wouldn't be shocked if it was like the first or second drive. They just get some bad field position. This is a point I meant to make earlier. I think if our offense does struggle a little bit, I think field position's huge.
I agree.
I don't think they get 10 first downs.
No, I agree with that. They're awful. Again, they're just horrendous. That said, a little inside baseball here. Sometimes when I do these predictions, I get carried away with my touchdowns. Then I have to really think, like,
how
is my score prediction going to be right? Like, did I give enough points here? So I have to do some quick math so I don't look dumb. I'm not like 7 touchdowns, and I'm like, it's 32-10.
Does Nico have to shovel it to Dylan Sampson for all of this? Right.
So that said, it actually works out quite well. As long as your prediction for a pick 6 doesn't work out, because then I'll be in trouble. But that's your prediction, not mine.
That's okay. Yep.
I've got it at 42-6.
All right.
I wanted to go 42-10, but I didn't want to insult our defense. Because again, if I go low and they score more, they have to apologize to me. So 42
Crack
to
the
6.
system.
Tennessee just whooping them. They're so bad. Now, when this game inevitably is like 17-14, and I'm trying to jump off the Gay Street Bridge next week, we'll talk about that on the next show. But for this week, they're coming into Neyland.
Yep.
The Neyland effect is taking over. It's dark mode. It's Halloween. All of those fun things. They are going to have a horrific time. It's like a haunted house for them.
Yep.
That's what Neyland Stadium is for Kentucky. It's a haunted house. They come in here on Halloween, they get scared, they run away, and they go home crying because it's a horrifying place for them.
I don't know what goals Kentucky had for this season. I'm not in their locker room. Thank the Lord. That'd be a miserable job. But 3-5, 1-4 in conference play. The season's sold. Okay. So if you're gonna get a spark out of them, it is this game because you look at the rest of their schedule. It's like, are you gonna get up for any of them? Probably not.
They don't have a spark.
They got nothing, man. They got nothing. And
they're awful.
I was once upon a time a big Gerald Mincy guy.
Ugh.
We'll see how that goes.
I'm not. Joe Minty. Good luck trying to punch us in the mouth. Have fun with that. James Pierce, Joe Minty. Enjoy.
Yep.
As always, it's more steam. It's the best part of my week every week. I have so much fun. Thank you to the Steamers.
Yes.
We're excited to see you in the comments. So like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.